All right. And we are live. Look at us, acting like we know what we're doing. Definitely forgot to purchase that for Victoria. So let's go ahead and do that shit now.
What's first? No line. Or you can do forks, I guess, if you want.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from downtown Baton Rouge, this is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from our studio downtown in the capital city on this Football Friday. It means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Jacob Beck, Taylor Sharp, back there on the ones and twos. Fired up, you're hanging out with us. Hopefully, as you wind down your work week, if you've gotten to the end of your work week, clocked out, congratulations. Appreciate you hanging. If you hadn't gotten there yet, we'll get you to the finish line on this Friday. We got a lot to do over the next 2 hours. Preston Guy is going to be with us in 15 minutes talking Tigers. Got to set the stage for the NFL slate in Week 3. The National Football League on Sunday coming up. Also, SEC picks against the spread coming at the top of hour number 2. LSU and Southeastern, Saints and Seahawks. You know the drill by now, so let's crank it up the way we do every single day. That's our Genesis opening drive.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
I'm not going to belabor the point here on this Friday that we've been talking about for a little bit of this week. There's nothing that LSU is going to do on the field in terms of their execution against Southeastern that I will in turn go, oh, maybe they can do that against Ole Miss, because Southeastern and Ole Miss are in different worlds. If you don't believe me, listen to the head coach at Southeastern who went on a match show yesterday and said he doesn't like these games. It's a cash grab for Southeastern. So, yes, I do believe that LSU can go out there and they can look efficient and they can throw the ball a little bit better, and Garrett Nussmeier maybe gets the ball down the field a little bit more, and they can run the ball a little bit better and they can feel better about themselves in the locker room. The defense can keep playing well. They can go out there and play a good football game, but I'm not going to sit here and analyze it and say, oh, they ran the ball significantly better in this game. That means look out against Ole Miss. You're blocking guys that might play in the NFL against Ole Miss. You're blocking guys who were helping my buddy move last Sunday for Southeastern. Not the same world. So in understanding that before they take the field tomorrow night, what can I look for? What do I need to pay attention to as we analyze this team chasing goals down the line? And this has nothing to do with Southeastern, but it's just something that the players talked about this week on Tuesday, and that Brian Kelly was asked about last night in his press conference, and that I dug into this weekend. So this segment's not really about Southeastern. It's just about what do we need to see from LSU? And you all know, like, you can generically point to, well, you got to run the ball better. Yes, you have to run the ball better. Why do you have to run the ball better? Well, that's pretty self-explanatory, but there are some deep things here that I think the issues are rooted in the running game. And one is third down. Now, LSU wasn't very good at running the ball last year, but they were great on third down last year. LSU last season on third downs converted 49%. That was 6th in the country. They were awesome on third downs, even if they didn't run the ball great. It's because you had a quarterback that was throwing the ball really well. You finished in the top 6th in the country in completions last year. You were 5th in that statistic. And though you often found yourself in 3rd, 5, 7, 8, because you were so efficient in the passing game, because you completed so many passes, more than anyone in the Southeastern Conference, you were good on 3rd down. Well, as I mentioned, LSU's not good on 3rd down right now. Through 3 games, LSU's 70th in the country. They're converting just 41% on 3rd down. That's 8% off last year's pace. Now, again, I'm throwing caveats in there because they're necessary. I realize that not everyone's schedule right now, as of September the 19th, has Florida, Clemson, and Louisiana Tech. You've got some schools that have scored 70 points on FCS teams. You've got some schools that haven't played a conference game. I understand that these numbers are to be taken with a grain of salt, but LSU's not converting on 3rd downs at the rate they need to. And it's not just because you're not able to throw the ball deep. It's, to me, rooted in the run game. And it's because you're not converting 3rd and short nearly enough. Brian Kelly alluded to that yesterday in his press conference. I went back and dug up, that's not how you say that, dug up those numbers. And on 3rd and 1 to 4 yards, so 3rd and less than 5, LSU is 8 for 15. That's just a tick over 50%. That would be a good number if it was all your 3rd downs. But when you're just talking about under 5 yards, you've got to be better at that. And it stands to reason you're not better at that because you're not good at running the ball. Now, not all those failed conversions are running plays, right? But there's something to the fact that it is easier to run 5 yards with the football than to drop back, read the defense, make a good throw, make a catch, and then finish it off. There's more risk in a pass than there is in a run. So you either aren't converting because you're not running the ball well, or you don't feel confident you can run for it, so you do the more difficult thing and you throw it, and you're not doing it at the rate you did last year. Either way, it starts with the run game, right? They've got to get better at the run game. And there are so many statistics that are disappointing when you bake this down. Understanding that Florida and Clemson and Louisiana Tech is probably a little bit more difficult schedule from a talent perspective defensively than everybody else in the SEC, but that has nothing to do with the fact that you're 15th out of 16 teams in terms of rushing attempts this year. 15th out of 16. You're 15th out of 16 in rushing touchdowns. And most importantly, you're 15th out of 16 in terms of yards per carry. You are next to last in all 3 of those statistics running the football: yards per carry, attempts, and rushing touchdowns. You're just not doing it enough. You're not doing it well enough. So to go back to the original point, you're not, to me, going to show Hunt Palmer on Saturday that, wow, you've really got this running thing figured out. You have run for 196 yards against the Southeastern Lions. Not how that works. But I do have my thoughts on some things I'd like to see with LSU's running game. And keep in mind, I think you'll see some of this on Saturday. Some of this I don't think you need to show on Saturday. But I liked the last look that LSU gave against Florida. I probably like it because it went for a 51-yard run, but they put Bauer Sharp and Jack Pyburn in the backfield and used those guys to lead the way, and they sealed the edge, and Caden Durham hit it. At the very least, you're putting something on tape that teams have to go look at. Oh, they were under center. Oh, they played with a fullback and a blocking tight end on the same side of the formation, going to that side and won with numbers. We need to account for that, and they've got to prepare for it. And then, two, it worked. You executed it against a good defense. I'm in for that. I also, deep down, don't think that LSU is going to be a great run-blocking team this year. I could be proven wrong. Weston Davis has started 3 games in his college career. Paul Mabenga has started 8 games in his college career. Tyree Adams has started 5 games in his college career. They can get better. They absolutely can. And in talking to Tyree Adams on Tuesday, he fully expects that they will get better. Brian Kelly has talked about this team and this offensive line in press conferences, said, like, I'm bullish on this group. I think they're going to improve. I like the talent. I think they're getting better, and I think they're going to be good by the end of the season. And maybe all that's true. I just don't think they're going to be a dominant run-blocking group. So if you're not going to blow holes open and create easy running lanes for your backs, what does that mean to run the football? You need backs that can make guys miss. I think Caden Durham has proven himself to be that. That's why he became the lead back last year. They went to Columbia, South Carolina. He forced 7 missed tackles that day. 7. The first play of the season. Handoff, Clemson in the backfield, makes a guy miss, out the right side, big play. He's very, very good at making guys miss, and that's going to have to be a big key to LSU's team this year. And there's another guy in this running back group that is very good with vision and making guys miss, and it's Harlem Berry. Now, it's different. Caden Durham is smaller, but he's built more sturdily, and he can absorb hits, and I think those same hits are probably going to take Harlem Berry off of his feet. The thing with Harlem Berry is you've got to get him on the ground, and his vision and his playmaking are really exciting. And I loved the late run that he had against Louisiana Tech in the middle of the field where he made a guy miss, and then he showed his vision to get to the green grass, and then he showed his speed to turn it up the left side. And I think the more he emerges, the more there is in that LSU running game, because I think his skill set is best utilized with what this offensive line probably is. Now, again, what he does tomorrow doesn't prove to me that he's going to be good against Ole Miss, but what can he do tomorrow? He can gain more trust from the coaching staff. He can get his feet wet. He can get in the huddle with Garrett Nussmeier and behind those offensive linemen and see a college defense that's not LSU's on the Ponderosa at practice and just get more reps. Nothing is better developmentally for these players than repetitions in a game. And I think that Harlem Berry can make some big plays for LSU with his vision and his ability to get to open space. I think Caleb Jackson could be a pretty good running back for this team if LSU had the 2011 offensive line, if they had Bama's 2012 offensive line, if you just had some maulers up there that were knocking dudes out of the way and Caleb Jackson's get a big head of steam. They don't have that. They don't do that. There's no evidence to support the fact they will get to that. But there is evidence to support that Caden Durham makes guys miss and creates something out of nothing. And there is evidence that Harlem Berry's got that skill set too. So on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, I really would like it if Harlem Berry got 12 carries. I would love that. Love it if you got him the ball in some screens and just allowed him to use that playmaking ability. He's not ready to be a lead back in the SEC right this second. He's a little bit undersized for that and hasn't gotten the seasoning. Caden Durham was already pretty physically built when he showed up here. Harlem's not like that. He's a little thinner. But I think the reps are going to be good for him, and I don't think that Saturday's reps are going to be too taxing on his body. You've got to be careful sending him out there against South Carolina or physical team that you might play like in Oklahoma later in the season. But right now, this early in his freshman year, and having him take 14, 18 licks, I don't think Southeastern's going to inflict that kind of damage on your freshman running back. I want Harlem Berry out there because I think he can unlock something in this running game that can help. And every single statistic you look at, from the actual running game statistics to what that carries over into third downs, even into the red zone where LSU hasn't quite been as good as they want to be, Harlem Berry's skill set can help that as he develops. This is a chance, one of the last ones, that you've got to truly develop him. Let's see what he can do potentially tomorrow night inside Tiger Stadium. I'm excited to see Harlem Berry in there on Saturday night. All right. That's our opening drive presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge. Corks brings you our Friday shows. If you're headed out to campus, want a tailgate, want some food for that tailgate, don't want to mess with cooking, Corks can help you out. They're awesome with catering. Check out the menu, corksfishandshrimp.com, corksfishandshrimp.com. Big old trays of that crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp, shoestring fries, honey butter rolls, all the sauces your heart desires. They got it there at Corks. They're on Government between Foster and Jefferson. Check them out for a late lunch today, or go on by tomorrow before you head to campus and feed yourself with some Corks. Come back with Preston Guy, TigerBait.com next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, We've only got one. You. Auctioneer Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
The wife and I are going to have a nice romantic
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join us for Friday's AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Sagamore Spirit Rye. We'll have craft cocktails, someone's winning tickets to the game, and of course a fine premium cigar. Friday's AFR, presented by Sagamore Spirit.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American
Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Saints and Seahawks coming up on Sunday from the Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about it at the end of hour number one. Going to continue our discussion for the LSU Fighting Tigers. They get ready for Southeastern Louisiana on Saturday night. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, with us on Fridays. Road tripping with the family, I understand. Preston, what's the go-to beverage and snack of choice on the road when you're traveling long distances?
All right, Hunt, I have this down to an exact science, okay? You need a sweet tea, okay? Now, morning coffee, okay, but not more than one or else you're going to have a lot of stops, okay? But afterward, you transition to a sweet tea. If you need caffeine, you switch over to the Coke Zero. But you got to have you some boiled peanuts and some beef jerky, okay? And that's going to keep you rolling. That is elite road tripping.
That is a science. You didn't waste a second on that. You really dove in. So preparation is key on road trips, and it sounds like you've got it all plotted out. Let's talk about LSU and Florida first. What is a more important narrative, the dominance of the defense or the perceived struggles of the offense?
Well, the dominance of the defense, if this team's going to compete for any sort of championship of significance this year, it's going to be the dominance of that defense that carries you there. So I certainly think that's the more important aspect. However, I think it's perfectly valid to question the offense at this point. You scored 13 points against a 1-2 Florida team where we don't really know how good they're going to be. We don't necessarily know how good that South Florida team they lost to was. So it's valid to question that you've got a championship defense. Is this offense going to prevent you from getting that, as we saw 2 years ago where you had a championship offense and that defense was just atrocious enough to prevent you from winning anything of significance?
What's the biggest concern on offense?
Certainly for me, it's the run blocking. It's very concerning that against teams like Louisiana Tech and Florida, I mean, you have a paltry run game. Even with talented running backs doing their thing, it's anemic. So that's very concerning for me. The Nussmeier struggles are less concerning, particularly given we saw he was banged up in fall camp with a knee injury, and now it turns out he has a torso injury. Well, that's a very good explanation as to why a 4,000-yard passer is all of a sudden missing balls that we frankly haven't seen him miss all that often, and not moving the ball the same way we're used to. I think there's a very easy solution for that, and that's get Nussmeier some rest and get him healthy. We'll see. We don't know what the torso injury is, but I would assume it's not super serious given the fact that he's playing through it. However, that running game, I'm not so certain that there is a solution, and I'm not so certain that there's anything that I could see against Southeastern this weekend to convince me anything except for, well, they can run the team against subpar defenses.
Yeah, my first segment was basically right along those lines. Is it important at all to get Michael Van Buren some reps in this game on Saturday?
Yeah, because you got to keep Nussmeier healthy. That's the real importance of it. If we're just being very honest, I think this team will go as far as Garrett Nussmeier's right arm will carry it, particularly given it looks like we're getting buckled in for a one-dimensional offense, which is better than a no-dimensional offense we've really seen through the first 3 games. But at the same time, I would really like to see a 3-score lead, get Michael Van Buren in the game. And yes, once you've secured the health of Garrett Nussmeier, develop a backup. Because as we saw in fall camp, neither one of those backup guys are particularly ready to play. I think Michael Van Buren has thrown some pretty balls throughout camp, but he's also, it's a lot of ducks and dimes is what we saw. That's what I was calling fall camp for him.
Van Buren's first, but are there any other reserves you would like to see on offense in this game on Saturday night?
I mean, of course. If we're going to stick with the quarterback, I would love to see Colin Hurley go out there and get some decent reps, especially if it's not just go out there and hand the ball off. Harlem Berry is a guy who, after that run against LA Tech, we're all talking about him and his potential and what he can do. I would really like to see him work his way into a running back 2 role, give a good change of pace and a spell back for Caden Durham, and see if you can use this as an opportunity to get him, prepped and ready for that role. I would like to see a lot of the defensive backups get in this game. Simply, same reason I want to see Garrett Nussmeier's backup in there. Keep this defense healthy and rocking and rolling. There's a lot of depth on this defense, and I'd like to see what those guys can do. Look at Deshaun Spears last week, and I think he had 9 defensive reps, if I'm not mistaken. Did I get the number right?
That's correct.
Said,
yep.
Okay, all right, 9, and he had 2 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown. So that shows you, I think particularly on the defensive side of the ball, depth is what wins championships. Go develop it this weekend.
Let me toss another name out there to you, just because it's where we started our conversation. Carius Kern. What about his potential to kind of break through and be a guy who helps this offensive line?
Yeah, no, I would love it. And, of course, he's very strong. That's the thing is he's one of the strongest true freshmen. Brian Kelly's, he bragged about him coming into fall camp. And that kind of strength might help you in the run blocking game because you really just need a guy who can get low and really, outman someone in front of him. And I think that's what this offensive line is really missing right now. Love to develop a guy like Carius Kern.
How confident are you in this defense being elite, being that Clemson and Florida have struggled offensively?
Yeah, I'm still convinced of it. I think that there might come a point where you need to score 20 points to win a game. I don't see from what I've seen with this defense, they're playing really elite ball. Yes, they're going to give up a big play here and there. We saw against Florida, what was that, the 88-yard touchdown that was, bailed out by a holding call. Yes, you're going to see a few of those, and I do think there's a couple teams that are going to take advantage, and they might put up 21 points on you. I still think this is an elite defense. I don't really necessarily see anybody going out there and hanging 40 on this defense.
Preston Guy is our guest, TigerBait.com. LSU and Southeastern coming up on Saturday night. Kind of tap danced around the entire picture here. And we know that there's not a ton that you can glean from the game on Saturday. So I would just rather go big picture here. Are we still feeling good about this being a playoff team? Do you think that the concerns offensively are more than that, or where are you?
Yeah, I'm not pumping the brakes in terms of the expectations for this team yet, even though there's been a few stock down weeks the last couple weeks as LSU's offense has been slowed, and then you've seen the Clemson win. You're no longer going to get that. Basically, what I considered that Clemson win was if you get 9-3, you've got a really good chance of getting in the playoffs because you'd be, the best team in the ACC. I don't think you're going to get that anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win 10 games to make it in. But that being said, this team's in a real good spot to win 10 games. And then with this defense, if they make it to the playoffs, who knows, Hunt? I think they have a chance to beat just about anybody. So I am not pumping the brakes on expectations. I also think the fact that a lot of the offensive struggles can be attributed to Garrett Nussmeier's torso injury. That gives me optimism that this team is on the way up, in terms of offensive production.
So let's go to recruiting. Last on my checklist here, Peyton Houston commits to the Tigers this week. We know about the three men in that 2027 class that LSU is looking at quarterback. How does your perception of that whole situation change with Houston's commitment?
Interesting. A few weeks ago, we started getting buzz that Peyton Houston was, it had been kind of a foregone conclusion that, all right, they're looking another direction, more of a prototypical quarterback. Peyton Houston's short. He's 5'11", and I don't think, I think if he was truly a 5'11", he'd probably be 6 foot.
Yep.
But anyways, he's a shorter quarterback, but he's also one of the best gosh darn high school football players I've ever seen. So it's just an interesting situation of, are you really going to knock one of the best high school players in the country based on just a measurable alone? And I thought they were kind of pushing that, given how good the other two guys they're looking at are. But no, they decided to go for him. And I, for one, am very happy to see him stay home. I'm interested to see if they try to push for two quarterbacks. I've been trying to push and get that answer, and it's been mum as the way. Of course, we're 17 months out, you know, so it'll be tough to see what happens, what truly sticks. But I would say in a perfect world, you do get two of those guys, and you say, all right, guys, go duke it out. Winner gets the spot. But that's easier said than done, especially, in this era.
No doubt about it, guys. You got to keep him committed, then you got to get him signed, then you got to keep him on your roster for year after year.
Yeah.
So it's just there's
I'll
a lot
say
of
this,
gymnastics.
though, it's less consequential now. You can go in a class, and if you lose your battle, just hit the portal. Who cares?
Yeah, defense seems to be doing all right with some portal guys this year, so it's just kind of the way that things work. Safe travels, Preston. We'll see you in the press box on Saturday night, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, see you then, Hunt. Thanks, man.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, and catch his YouTube show and podcast on Monday nights and all the great work they do over there at TigerBait. Interestingly, we obviously have a lot of access to numbers, to clicks, to our YouTube views, to our website hits, and all those types of things, podcast clips that we throw up. And noticing that the big pop that high school recruiting used to have has been lessened, not flatlined, not by a long shot. But it's just there's not the fervent interest that there was 10 years ago in what juniors and seniors in high school are doing. And I don't think that's because people care less about football. I think it's because the nature of those commitments is such that there's just still a 50% shot that person that commits becomes a starter? Probably less than that. Because one, they haven't signed anything to actually go to school at LSU. And two, if they don't play a lot their first year, they might up and leave. Or three, they might not be good and then leave. So you just don't, while it was, probably the fever pitch of recruiting 2005, 2008, 2010, 2012, like somewhere in there in the era of the Scout and Rivals, and then like On3 coming a little bit later. 24/7 coming a little bit later, and like the ESPN launching the day-long signing day thing and the Bayou Bash and the whole deal. Like, it was just a big industry, big deal. It still is a big industry, but I just don't feel like people are as invested in some of this as they were 5, 8, 10, 12 years ago. And we're kind of seeing that reflected in our numbers. But I can tell you this, like LSU baseball gets a portal commitment, and based on like track record over there, you really feel like once a guy commits to LSU out of the portal, like he's very likely a starter for a really good team. I guess that's 9 months later, 10 months later. Like, that pops. Those numbers hit. It's not that people don't care about roster construction and new players. It's that they realize where the impact is more likely to come from, and they pay more attention to that. We see that. It's an interesting deal, and it's not all surprising, but it's been fascinating to kind of watch as our numbers and our content kind of display that, both written and through the audio formats and video formats. All right, that's some LSU chatter here on this Football Friday. Take a time out, get you set up for Sunday in the National Football League next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is that website. If you're a business owner, you're a CFO, risk manager, whatever your title may be, if you handle the insurance wherever it is that you work, and you haven't been familiarized with the captive, you might be missing out on a chance to really change your bottom line. You might not, because you might not fit. Captive world requires that you have big enough premium annually, and that your loss history is very good, and that your risk management is reputable. And if those are the case, and you're a business owner and you haven't looked at a captive, why not? If your broker hasn't brought that to you, the Highland Insurance Group does this all the time. They are happy to help you look at it. It doesn't cost anything to have the conversation. Hey, do we fit into a captive? Do y'all have something that would fit us? And maybe they do, because they do it all the time. If they don't, well, at least you looked into it. But if it does work out, it could be a game changer financially for your business in terms of your risk management. Call Jonathan Carbo, reach out at HighlandIG.com, say, hey, I'd like to learn about a captive. It's the Highland Insurance Group right here in Baton Rouge that can help you out anywhere in the state of Louisiana. HighlandIG.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
I gotta be real honest, Beck. Seeing the SEC board real clearly this week.
Really?
Seeing it. I love the picks. They're great picks.
You know, I'm not going to lie to you, Hunt. I think you said this exact thing last week.
Nope, I don't think I did.
I think you did.
I think
you said you were very excited about your picks and that you were going to at least go over 500.
No, I don't think I said that. I think
pretty sure you did.
We're only focused on moving forward. We don't look in the past.
All right.
We only we think about moving forward, and this is going to be big week coming up in 25 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
I've got some sources.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my college roommates are from Memphis.
Oh.
Memphis is hosting Arkansas this week, so a bunch of their friends, who I'm also good friends with, will be in attendance.
Tough place to play there.
And they
Memphis?
said they're going to be drinking some beers in the parking lot around 9:30. None of them care about Memphis at all, but they are SEC fans who went to LSU and Bama and Georgia, and they're just going to go pull against Arkansas and drink beer. And so I think that's – I don't know if Coach Pittman knows that's coming.
They may not be ready for that.
They may not.
It's going to be a tough crowd.
The Liberty Bowl can be tough. Many victims of the Liberty Bowl over the years. Phil Fulmer lost in the Liberty Bowl with Tennessee. David Cutcliffe lost with Eli there. Also, Hugh Freeze was beaten by Memphis there. Matt Luke and the Ole Miss Rebels fell, and also Mike Leach lost in the Liberty Bowl to Memphis. So
they're taking some names down.
My sources are suggesting that could be a tough spot for the Hawks.
Since you have all these sources, we need to know: are they wearing the silver and blue tiger striped helmet?
I'll get back to you on that.
If they
are, I'm taking Memphis money line.
I'm very worried about that game if they're wearing those helmets.
I asked if they were going to be in the parking lot tailgating at 10 a.m. and the response I got was 9:30. So
impressive.
That's
very
it's going to be quite an outing for the Memphis boys up there going to watch teams that they don't care about. So we'll see. We'll do all that coming up in 25 minutes. For right now, let's get you ready for Sunday in the National Football League. We'll start in Tier 4. This is not very good football, but you'll probably watch it anyway because it's football on Sundays. Two of the best fronts in the NFL, the Packers at the Browns, but the Packers are good and the Browns are not. So I've got it in Tier 4. The Browns do have the number one run defense in the NFL. They're only allowing 92 yards total for the season. How about this? This is a good trade by your boys, Taylor. When Micah Parsons is on the field, quarterback rating of 14 for the opposition. When he comes off, that goes up to 60. He's pretty good, pretty impactful. I think he'll have a heck of a day. And I do think the Packers go to Cleveland and win. Other game in Tier 4, Falcons at the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are good at all, and they're just usually going to be in Tier 4. I think the Falcons are decent. But, yeah, Panthers Tier 4. They're 0-2 again. Bryce Young threw the ball 55 times last week. You want to know how to lose a game? Have Bryce Young chuck it around 55 times. All right, Tier 3. This is where the bulk of the action is on Sunday. Let's start in the AFC South with the Colts at the Titans. The Colts haven't punted yet, so that's pretty good. They're the first team since at least 1966 to do that over the last 2 weeks. All right, Steelers at the Patriots. Steelers are 30th in the NFL in rushing and 28th in run defense. That sounds like a really bad way to go about trying to win football games. They are 1-1 at this point. I wanted to check in on what Will Campbell's doing in his rookie season. How about this? Number 10 in the NFL. among tackles in pass block grade. Pretty good start for Will Campbell as a rookie in New England. Jets are at the Bucs. Tyrod Taylor is still in the NFL, and he's starting. You want to know how long it's been since he started a game? 624 days. But the Jets are handing him the rock coming up on Sunday against Baker and the Bucs in Tampa. Raiders are at the Commanders. This game probably could dip to Tier 4 now. Austin Eckler for Washington. He tore his Achilles. He's done. Jaden Daniels not going to play either. Marcus Mariota will instead play for Washington. Hopefully they can still get it done at home against a bad Vegas team, but we shall see. Texans are at the Jags, another division showdown in the AFC South. Texans are averaging 14 points per game. Because of that, they're 0-2. Also, Texans unders, 13-6 over the last 2 years. That's the best run in the NFL. So bet the under. The Texans are playing good defense. C.J. Stroud and that offense haven't really gotten clicking. Cowboys are at the Bears. This over-under is 50.5. That's the highest of the week in the NFL. That's because the Bears' defense under Dennis Allen is awful. Detroit went up and down the field, dropped a 50-burger on them last week. Dak has been good. It's 75% completion percentage on third downs. He ought to have a field day up there in Chicago. But when Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze keep things rolling, they've been decent as well. Chiefs at the Giants. I got this down in Tier 3. Mahomes leads the Chiefs in rushing. That's not a good thing. He could join some crazy company, though. If he has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown on Sunday, he'll have done it in the first 3 games. Only 2 quarterbacks have ever done that in NFL history. Some guy named Jack Kemp in 1965 did it. Then Kyler did it in 2020. Doesn't happen often. We'll see if Mahomes can get it done on Sunday. All right, here's the good action for Sunday. Tier 2. I got Bengals and Vikings there just because I think that the rosters are pretty good with Joe Burrow. The Browning was okay last week. The Bengals have the worst running game in the NFL right now. Can Browning keep things rolling? 71% completion percentage as a starter. That's multiple years because Burrow gets hurt a little bit. And then the Cardinals at the 49ers. Kyler's had some success against the 49ers. 4-4 as a starter. That's surprising because the Cardinals usually stink and San Francisco is usually pretty good. He's averaging 52.8 rushing yards per game against San Francisco in his career. That's the second highest of any team he's played against. Cardinals have covered 5 straight games as underdogs. Might want to look at them as a dog there in San Francisco. And then Tier 1 got 2 awesome games this weekend. Looking forward to on Sunday. The Rams are at the Eagles. Philadelphia, first team since 2010 to start 2-0 without a touchdown pass. Saquon Barkley helps with that. He had 460 yards on the ground in the 2 games against the Rams last year. 460 on the ground in 2 games. See if the Rams can slow him down this time around. And Broncos at Chargers. I think this is an awesome game in the AFC West. Chargers swept Denver last year. No Khalil Mack in this game. He's going to IR. Bo Nix had 3 interceptions against zone coverage in the first 2 weeks of the season. And the Chargers play a ton of zone defense. They're among the league leaders in that statistic. We'll see if he can keep care of the football. I'm high on the Broncos this year. That's your look in the NFL for Sunday. Taylor, you have any thoughts on the that was perfect timing.
I don't know how. I think what's okay. We did this 18 weeks last year, and we've done it 3 weeks this year. I think you've gotten it perfect timing like that at least 5 times. It's really impressive stuff.
What a pro.
Yeah, if I knew how long it was or had any indication of the cue of when the song was going to end, it would be better. But there you go. Taylor, thoughts on the Broncos? I'm high on the Broncos.
I think the Broncos are going to win that division ultimately. I think the defense is better than they've played now. Flynn made us give bold predictions before the season started. My bold prediction was I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win their division because I think the Denver Broncos are going to do just that. I like the Chargers, but something about Bo Nix and that defense, I think they're going to get better.
Are you buying the Rams, Beck?
No, I'm not.
I feel like you got to wheel Stafford out there and give him some like a cane to get on the field.
We were talking about this the other day though. Taylor does still like Stafford. I love
Matthew Stafford. I think he's great.
I think
his arm still works great.
Does. He just can't move.
He can't. His back hurts.
Yeah,
it does. He's got Devontae Adams, who still looks like a top 10 receiver. He's got Puka Nacua. I think Kyron Williams is a good player. Like that defense. The defense is really good. He didn't practice all offseason. I know people are going to say, well, it's Matthew Stafford. He doesn't have to practice. I get it, but he's never played with Devontae Adams. I mean, they have 2 games together. You saw the jump from game 1 to game 2. I think the Rams are still going to be good.
Everyone wondered how that Rams defense would recover after losing Aaron Donald. So far, not bad.
I mean, their front's unblocked.
Yeah, it is.
We've talked to multiple Saints reporters that went to that joint practice that they didn't have video of. And they apparently did not go well.
No.
Like the Saints offensive line is shoddy as it is. You let those guys loose on that. I don't think they got anything done on offense.
No.
Apparently the defense played okay, but I mean that's a mismatch.
And again, I wonder, it's only 2 games, but how many times are we going to see New York quarterbacks go to another team and immediately just look way better? Yeah. Like Daniel Jones looked like he couldn't play quarterback at all in the NFL in the Giants, and now he's with the Colts, and it's only been 2 games again. But so far, he's looked like very competent. I mean, we saw with Sam Darnold, he's looked pretty good. Geno Smith left the Jets and has had a pretty good renaissance of a career. It's like the New York is just a cesspit for quarterbacks when they get drafted there. You just have no chance.
Yeah, there's just some organizations that stink. I follow the Bears closer than I should because of all my Cubs people, and they are real down in the dumps right now. Real down in the dumps.
Well, you buried the lead on the entire weekend.
What's that?
It's 2017 again. Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, and Carson Wentz are all starting meaningful football games for a team.
Matt Stafford.
They always just find the right team for some reason.
Geno Smith still a starter. Like, this is 2017.
Dak.
Jared Goff. When did Goff get in? Goff was around that time.
I don't know when he was, but
something like that.
Something like that. I mean, he was
the same class as Wentz, so they both would have been there.
Same deal. And Nolan No-Call was 19. So
yeah.
I mean, all right. Let's. Was it 19? No, that wasn't 19. Because I had met Alyssa by 19. It was not 19.
I think it was 18.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go back and close out hour number 1 next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Corks, Cajun fried fish, and shrimp. I love talking about this because it's so tasty. If you're looking for a po' boy in Baton Rouge, Corks has a great po' boy. I mean, you just can't beat a big, hearty, fried shrimp po' boy, fully dressed, fluffy bread. They got you covered over there at Corks. So every once in a while, if you're a Louisiana native, you're down here, and you get the hankering at like 11:15. You're like, I need a po' boy today. Corks can help you out with that. You can whip on through the drive-thru, or you can eat in their newly renovated dining room. It is a great, great po' boy. They can do a catfish po' boy as well, and I enjoy a catfish po' boy. Shrimp is the star, though. You got to go by and see them. You can also do catering, which we talk about every single week. Just look at the entire menu at corksfishandshrimp.com. You're going out to see some high school football this evening and want something quick on the way out to the stadium. Corks can help you out with that. Corksfishandshrimp.com. They bring you our Friday shows. Check out that menu, corksfishandshrimp.com.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Join us for Friday's AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Sagamore Spirit Rye. We'll have craft cocktails, someone's winning tickets to the game, and of course a fine premium cigar. Friday's AFR, presented by Sagamore Spirit.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
All right, closing up hour number 1 here, Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Corks. Tomorrow, if you're looking for your pregame, postgame coverage, we have got you here at Guarantee Media. Pregame show fires up from Rouse's on Burbank, 1:45 for your pregame show. Charles Handigraf, Matt Musso from Rouse's, Burbank and Lee will come to you for 3 hours, 1:45 to 4:45. I'll take over on the LSU Sports Radio Network at 4:45. Go for about 90 minutes with Brandon Taylor and Marlon Favorite. We'll be inside our studio, inside Tiger Stadium. Lead you up 30 minutes to kick off about a 6:45 kick between LSU and Southeastern. 30 minutes after the game goes final, me, Brandon, and Marlon back on the LSU Sports Radio Network. And then 90 minutes after the game goes final, as you're driving home, Charles Handigraf, Richard Dixon right here in studio for Eagle 98.1's post-game show. So 1:45 till about 2 in the morning, we'll have you covered here for LSU and Southeastern. I saw a story in The Athletic today, and I realize that the timestamp matters and the coaches matter, and it's not completely apples to apples. But it still just kind of made me bristle a little bit. The story is about UCLA football and how it completely cratered under Deshaun Foster and gave some underlying reasons why. And the main reason is because UCLA doesn't care at all about football. But a source told Bruce Feldman at The Athletic that in 2023, when UCLA beat USC 38-20 in the Coliseum, that UCLA's roster cumulatively was making about $400,000 in NIL, while USC's were making more than 30 times that. 30. And y'all remember LSU played USC to open the following season in 2024, and Danton Lynn was the story because he had left UCLA for USC as the defensive coordinator under Lincoln Riley, where they took his salary up to $2 million, more than doubling it from where he was at UCLA. Plus, they gave him a $500,000 stipend for a house. And while it doesn't matter what the quibbling between UCLA and USC is down here in Baton Rouge, what it did was it dinged my ego. I've got an ego when it comes to collegiate sports. And it grinds my gears that LSU went out to the Rose Bowl and got physically manhandled by a program that doesn't care at all. Now, I realize that this was not in NIL's prime. It was 3 months after it had been legalized. Nobody had a roster worth $5 million, $8 million, $18 million. That wasn't a thing then. And Chip Kelly is a bajillion times better than Deshaun Foster at being a coach. He's a respected mind who has been a head coach in the NFL and has gotten an Ohio State job. Like, he's been a great coach over the last 20 years. And Deshaun Foster can't get up to the stage and say, hey, I'm with UCLA. We're thrilled to be here and joining the Big Ten. Do you have any questions for me? He couldn't even do that. So I'm not surprised he was a complete failure as a coach there. But still, I consider LSU to be among the elites in college football, a national championship contending program. And for a bottom feeder like UCLA to invite LSU out to California, where, by the way, they were allowing any high school student in the entire state of California a free ticket to a UCLA football game, and not just got beat, but got smoked that night in the Rose Bowl, is embarrassing to me. I cannot believe that happened. And LSU smoked them last year in Tiger Stadium, and it was 11 o'clock kickoff or whatever it was, or 3 o'clock kickoff or whatever it was, and UCLA was terrible, and LSU beat them in the second half. So you can say, well, they got their revenge. It should have never happened. You should never have gone out to California and lost to UCLA. I get it. Zach Charbonnet, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, good tight end. Like, they had some players there, and this was not this version of UCLA that can't even compete with whoever they got blown out with New Mexico last week or whatever. It's not the same. I get it. It still grinds my gears. You go to Tuscaloosa and get beat. All right. You go to Atlanta in the SC Championship game and Georgia gets after you. I'll survive. Florida State, Jordan Travis beats you in Orlando on an undefeated team. Like, that happens. LSU should not have gone out to California and gotten smoked by UCLA. And this article just makes me feel even worse about it. So if you want to read about the downfall of UCLA football, you can do that over on The Athletic. Our Football Fridays start up at 7 o'clock in the morning with Off the Bench on location at Rouse's, 7 to 10 OTB with Jake and Matt. They hand it off to the guys over at Ruffino's for a Football Friday edition of Live at Lunch. They're there from 10 to 1. I take over 1 to 3 here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Matt's with you 3 to 6 on AFR. And then Cade Washington takes over from 6 to 6:45 Louisiana Prep Preview. 6:45 Catholic High pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff, which we'll have tonight. Catholic and U-High should be a big one. Every Friday, we're live and local, 7 a.m. through about 9 p.m. So check us out. We'll be back after SportsCenter for Hour 2. SEC against the spread picks on Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. When you think Genesis, you should think luxury brand. It is. When you think luxury brand, just don't immediately price yourself out. Go see. Go by the dealership, Airline at PQ. Talk to one of their brand ambassadors. See for yourself that it's a luxury brand at a reasonable price. Got a phenomenal line. Every single model in the line. All of them. IHA top safety picks. All of them. So you know if you get behind the wheel of a Genesis, you're getting behind the wheel of one of the safest cars on the road, whether it's sedan, SUV, everything. So go by and see them. Test drive it. Even if you don't have time to get by Airline at PQ, or that's a little bit of a hike for you, let them come to you. Valet test driving is available, and they'll deliver your vehicle to you if you decide to make that purchase. It's a wonderful facility, Genesis of Baton Rouge. Wonderful team, wonderful line of vehicles. Genesis of Baton Rouge, you can find them online. GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We picked a vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet.
I'm Ed Bankin. When the Washington Commanders take the field on Sunday, they will not have quarterback Jaden Daniels. Coach Dan Quinn confirmed that Daniels has been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Raiders.
On the field, we decided to start Marcus and said at the beginning we were going to be very diligent on his return to play and make sure we didn't miss any steps.
Marcus being Marcus Mariota, he will step in and be the starter against Vegas on Sunday. Bucs rookie receiver Emeka Egbuka is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Jets. He was limited in practice today after missing the past 2 days. College football, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel, Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons has been limited all week in practice and is unlikely to contribute significantly against Tulane on Saturday. Baseball with just 10 days left in the regular season. A huge series in the AL West between the Mariners and Astros. The two teams are tied for first place. In the NL Central, the Brewers visit the Cardinals. Milwaukee's magic number to clinch the NL Central is now down to 4 games. WNBA, the New York Liberty will take on the Phoenix Mercury in Arizona tonight. It's a winner-take-all in the best-of-3 with the series tied at a game apiece. They'll tip off on ESPN2 at 9 Eastern.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming on Monday. Whether it's Week 3 in the NFL or college football weekend, I'll recap it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from downtown Baton Rouge, this is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show right here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got some Take It or Leave It coming in 30 minutes. Got my final pick for Saints and Seahawks, as well as Tigers and Lions. Break down Saints Seahawks a little bit later as well. 1 hour left to go. Appreciate you hanging out with us. If you were listening in the first hour, you heard my confidence. You understand that I'm seeing this board for Southeastern Conference football better than maybe I've ever seen it. This could be the greatest week of handicapping anyone's ever seen. Y'all listen to Live at Lunch from Rufino's. You get a lot of expert handicapping opinions. You certainly listen to Pro Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott. Jimmy Ott's Football Sunday, 10 to noon on Sundays. You get a lot of handicap opinions there. These are the best picks. Clearly, that has been spelled out. Beck, what's my record on the season?
Your record on the season is 12-20.
Exactly. That's why you come to this station, to this show, to get these picks. And they're coming hot. They're coming fast. They're coming furious. Southeastern Conference football. Let's crank it up. It's week 4. I'm hot. Got great picks coming, and it starts in Memphis. The Razorbacks, Coach Pittman, going to the Liberty Bowl. Memphis catching 7.5 points in the first hour. We told you Coach Cutcliffe and Ole Miss couldn't cut it there. Coach Fulmer got beat there with the Vols. Hugh Freeze was taken down by Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. So was Matt Luke. I mean, Mike Leach couldn't win in the Liberty Bowl. It's a tough place to win. Memphis playing good defense thus far. They played Chattanooga. They're in the FCS. They played Georgia State. They're 108th in the country in offense. They played Troy. They're 107th in the country in offense. Memphis' defense, you think it's good? It actually stinks. It's terrible. Taylon Green leads the country in total offense. Hogs minus 7.5. Sorry, Memphis. It's going to get ugly. The Hogs are going to score a lot of points in that game. All right, let's go to 11:45 SEC Network. Same state, different venue. Rocky Top, Tennessee. 38.5-point favorites against Trent Dilfer and UAB. This is a huge letdown spot for Tennessee. Monster game with Georgia last week. Now UAB's coming in. There's no way their energy level is good. But UAB is 131st out of 136 in total defense. They gave up 514 yards to Alabama State. The Vols are going to score 60. 38.5 is nothing. Give me the Vols. Lay the 38.5. 2:30 ABC Top 25 Showdown Jackson Arnold Bowl. Auburn, ranked 22nd in the country, headed to Norman to play the 11th-ranked Sooners. The line, 7.5 in favor of the Sooners. I think Oklahoma is way better than Auburn. I think Jackson Arnold is not very good and probably won't play very well against a really good defense. I love Oklahoma minus 7.5, but I love it too much, which means Auburn must cover because I think that it's a slam dunk. So I got to go Auburn plus 7.5 on that one. I like it too much. And I've had that 3 times, I think, this year, and it's gone the wrong way every time. I got to go with Auburn to keep it within a touchdown. 3:15 SEC Network. Northern Illinois is at Mississippi State. Things are good in Starkville right now. They're beating some awful teams. They had a nice win over Arizona State. Northern Illinois scored 19 points this year against Holy Cross. They scored 9 on Maryland, and that came on a 75-yard touchdown run. I don't think they're going to sustain that offense too much. This is easy. 21.5. Give me Mississippi State. Lay those points all day long. 6 o'clock, ESPN. South Carolina is at Missouri. Missouri's a 9.5-point favorite. South Carolina was awful last week after Lenora Sellers left, and they weren't really that good when he was on the field. He is going to play, it appears, in this game. 9.5 is just too many points. South Carolina plays hard for Shane Beamer. They will play hard in this game against Missouri. They will keep it within 9.5. Give me the Gamecocks in the Battle of Columbia. 6:30 ABC. Florida is at Miami. This is a 7.5-point number in favor of Carson Beck and the Hurricanes. Everybody thinks Miami's awesome. Everybody thinks Florida stinks. Well, guess what? Florida might stink. Their defense does not stink. Their defense will play hard. And they will cover this number, 7.5. They will go to South Beach. They will stay within a touchdown of the Miami Hurricanes. This is a one-score game. Give me that defense, which is really good, against Miami. They'll get it done. They'll cover the number. 6:30 ESPNU. Georgia State at Vanderbilt. Revenge spot for the Doors against Georgia State. You heard that correct.
It is.
It's not at the TED this year. Not at Turner Field in Atlanta. Georgia State's got to get on a plane and go up to Nashville. 28.5 is the number here. Georgia State 101st, as I mentioned earlier, in total offense. 28.5 is a lot of points. Give me the Panthers. Plus 28.5.
Such a bad, terrible pick.
28.5. Give me the Panthers against Vanderbilt. That offense hasn't been very good, Vanderbilt. And then you got Sam Houston at Texas, 39.5. This is a 7 o'clock game on the SEC Network. Streaming, I think Texas wins 50-0. 39.5. I'll lay the points. Arch bad. Texas,
they didn't cover
not as
last
good as we
week,
thought. Sam Houston, come on.
The Bearcats are actually not good this year. They're usually pretty good, but this year they
usually are pretty good at pitching and playing defense.
No, they have actually
in the
been.
spring.
They won the FCS championship like 2 or 3 years ago. Different team now.
FCS. Give me Texas minus 39.5. I think it's 60-0.
You got to take Texas. Sam Houston spells Bearcats with a K.
K, they do.
Which is just pick against them for that reason only.
Shout out to my guy Joe Healy, who we have on during baseball season, Sam Houston grad. those are my picks against the number. The Arkansas Razorbacks -7.5. Auburn +7.5. I like Mississippi State to cover easily -21.5. South Carolina catching 9.5 at Missouri. Give me Florida +7.5 at Miami. I like the Georgia State Panthers +28.5 against Vanderbilt, and Texas laying 39.5 in Austin against Sam Houston's Bearcats with a K. Those picks are amazing.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, you got to give me more than that.
Well, here's the thing, Hunt. This is not a lot of games, so this is going to be tough for you because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
1, 2,
7,
3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only eight. Only 8. I mean, that's not.
If I don't at least go 7-1, I will shave my head on the set.
7-1.
I'm kidding.
You got to be kidding, Hunt.
Not going to happen.
You're not going 7-1.
We're not doing that.
You're not going 7-1.
I'm going 7. I think I'm 8-0.
Wait, okay, so I missed it. Who'd you pick? Mizzou, South Carolina? What was your?
I think South Carolina will play very hard. I think Lenora Sellers will play, and I think they'll cover 9.5 against Missouri.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Are any of these picks included in the pontoon parlay?
No, I don't think we had any SEC games.
Did y'all go 0 for last week, or?
We went 1-3. Not going to say who was the winning leg. That would be me, though.
Wow,
but
I wouldn't want you to say.
Individually, we're 3-1 this year.
Okay.
So, Auburn, Oklahoma. You were intrigued by that pick. I could stand with that one.
I was very.
There's
intrigued.
no way Auburn stays within 7.5.
Probably not, but they probably will. Just for some reason, they probably will.
I mean, is Jackson Arnold decent? That's really the question.
It is.
Because he's played on that field before, and he's been awful. I mean, go back and look at his stat line against Bama, where it was like, well, he led the lead against Bama. Bama didn't score in that game. I think he had 3 points, and I think he threw for like 90 yards.
It was not good.
He was. I mean,
that's what he's doing now. But they're also running for.
They run for a lot, and I don't think they're going to do that against Brent Venables' defense. So every fiber of my being suggests that that's an Oklahoma cover, which is why I've taken.
I like that reasoning. You got to do that sometimes.
I think Memphis is such a fraud. Their statistics are so ridiculous.
Taylor Green's gonna have 500 yards in this game.
I mean, for sure.
He's gonna score 5 touchdowns.
And then I was impressed with Florida's defense last week.
That is a very stinky line though to me for Memphis and Arkansas. I mean, you got to go. They're going to Memphis, but who cares about that? You're playing the Liberty
was
Bowl.
Fired up about it 20 minutes ago.
Yes, but it was obviously very much a joke.
Well, he found out they weren't wearing the Tiger Stripe helmet.
I didn't check. I have sources on that. I probably could figure out.
You probably could.
You know who's probably said it? Go to Memphis Football's official Twitter account.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone puts their jersey out. That's why I know that LSU is wearing white jerseys. The issue is they don't know that LSU is wearing gold helmets and gold pants.
I know what they're wearing.
Do you? How do you know?
Unofficially, I know.
Well, tell me now.
I'll tell you during break. I don't want to be wrong. So
you don't want to be wrong. That's the point of the whole show.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. This whole segment is about being wrong.
I heard it was gold, white.
Let your high.
Gold helmet, white. That's what I heard. Again,
awful.
That's unofficial.
I'll be sad.
But I was at the press conference yesterday, and there was some chatter.
Okay.
Some chatter, Hunt.
That's devastating. But I have prepped the Myers, man. It's crazy to me that so many people listen to the show and hear the things that I say.
A lot of people.
It's wild to me. I talked about Louisiana Tech wearing red uniforms in the game 2 weeks ago. It was Myers' first game to go to. And it was very good for him because a lot of the YouTube games he's watched, for whatever reason, LSU plays against a team wearing red. He's seen a lot of USC from last year, a lot of Ole Miss from last year. It's just a lot of red teams that he's seen. Oklahoma, even though LSU was in purple, they had red helmets on to him. So a lot of red team that he's seen, and it was good that they were the red team. I've had to prep him because his grandfather is taking him to this game as well. And I said, no red team this week. There is going to be a white team. That'll be the Tigers, but there's going to be a green team. So he has been...
That's going to be trouble.
He's all over it. He was talking about it this morning.
All right.
As he was not eating his waffle. He was talking about... He told his mom, not going to be a red team this week. It's going to be a green team. So we're prepped for that.
How do you not eat a waffle if you're a kid, though?
This kid, his eating is atrocious. It's just terrible. We cannot get him to eat. It's not... He won't eat anything. He loves waffles. He's like, can I have a waffle? Make the waffle. Won't eat it.
Interesting.
But at the game 2 weeks ago, he'd never eaten a hot dog in his life. Ate 2. I think he was just all swept up in the moment.
Just give him hot dogs.
Well, he won't eat a hot dog at home because he's not in a stadium with 5,000. That's a really bad.
Interesting.
Thing
Yeah,
that just came out.
Number you went to
more like
there.
100,000. Yeah. So that's enough for this segment of just babbling on. Let's talk about the Saints. We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Weekend is here. If you don't have a tee time somewhere and you're looking for an alternative, I got it for you. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You can go on in. They've got 3 bays with the big, comfortable couches, great seating area, television, so you can watch college football on Saturday, watch the NFL on Sunday, and hit some golf balls. You can play some of the most famous courses in the world. I teed it up at Pebble Beach. There's a quite famous golf club over there in the state of Georgia you can play that hosts a tournament every April that's quite well thought of. You can play Bethpage Black. You can play Cypress Point, which I did last week. It's just a lot of fun to get on the simulator and hit some of those cool shots that you've seen on television year after year after year. Get a cold beer. They got a fridge full of them. You can get a seltzer. They got a whole fridge full of them. You can get a glass of wine. They got a whole fridge full of that as well. And there are memberships available. So go hang out with your friends, play some golf indoors in a controlled environment, enjoy the comfortable seating areas, the television, and a great time over at Swing Easy Golf Club. Open this afternoon, open all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Check them out online at Swing Easy GCBR. They're at Segan and Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Join us for Friday's AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Sagamore Spirit Rye. We'll have craft cocktails, someone's winning tickets to the game, and of course a fine premium cigar. Friday's AFR, presented by Sagamore Spirit.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Long here, Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hope your work week has been a good one. Hopefully, it's in the rearview mirror. If not, we will get you to the finish line here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Matt will be out at Don Juan Cigar Bar for AFR 3 to 6 this afternoon. So if you're knocking off work and looking for somewhere to head to blow off a little steam, Don Juan could be a good spot for you. Matt will be there until 6 o'clock. Entering the season opener for the Saints, I thought, okay, this is a nice measuring stick for New Orleans because I don't find the Cardinals to be a great team. I don't find the Cardinals to be a disaster. I find them to be somewhere right in the middle of the NFL. And it'll be a good measuring stick on your home field of like where you stack up with that team. And you got beat. And I would suggest the Cardinals deserve to win that game, but you played them right there to the last play and had a chance to win it. And I thought that was a reasonable result. And then I sat here 7 days later and I said, look, this version of San Francisco is not all that intimidating. And I think the Saints should be able to stick with this team without Brock Purdy and without George Kittle. It's a tough matchup, and I picked the Saints to win, but I thought it would be a really close game late, and it was a really close game late. Saints had the ball with a chance to go down there and tie the game. So that's how I felt in those two instances. I don't feel that way as I sit here today. This is a really tall order for the Saints. You're going to play in one of the most difficult environments in the NFL. You're facing a pass rush that is ferocious. They're top 5 in the NFL in pass rush win rate. And oh, by the way, they rarely bring extra bodies with pressure. They are winning consistently with 4 guys up front. And that is problems for Saints offensive line that is leaky in the middle because of Ruiz, that hasn't gotten pinning reps, that has young pups on the outside, and a quarterback who's never won a start. Like, pressure without bringing extra bodies is the worst thing Spencer Rattler can see. And then you add in the road environment of it, and it's just a really tough order for New Orleans on that side of the ball. Defensively, the Saints have not covered very well. And Sam Darnold's very capable. We saw it last year in kind of a resurgence for him. And Jackson Smith-Njigba has had 100-yard games in each of the first 2. If he gets 100 on Sunday, he'll be the first player in the history of the Seahawks to have 3 straight games of 100-plus receiving to begin a season. It's just, it does not look good on paper to me at all. I'm waiting for an injury report to come out for the Saints on this Friday. Unfortunately, those generally happen right after my show goes off the air. I don't know what this weekend holds for Chase Young, who I think is a difference maker. I don't know what this weekend holds for Trevor Penning, who hasn't played very much. But as I look at what's likely, and I look at the venue, the style of these teams, the point spread, and what I've seen here, I just don't like the matchup at all for New Orleans. But it's another opportunity. And for Spencer Rattler, who's now 0-8 as a starter in his career, it's a chance for him to go out there and continue to take strides. He took strides last week. I gave this analogy last year. It was actually an LSU analogy, but I'm curious if it kind of plays here. There's a game that you play in recreational golf where if you make a birdie, you get double the money on your bet as long as you make a par on the next hole. It's called validating. And so for Rattler, I thought that last week was absolutely a step forward. He was decisive. He was accurate. The ball went down the field a little bit more. There were some touchdown throws, which we haven't seen a lot of. He made 3 of those. He spread the ball around different receivers. I thought it was good. Was it elite? No. Was it groundbreaking? No. Was it good? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, well, if you can do that at home against a 49ers defense, can you go on the road and validate it? Can you show me more progression? And that's a question that will have to be answered. If he goes out there and the pass rush gets to him and there are bad decisions and the Saints stall and are punting a lot and just aren't doing anything offensively, and you look up late in the third quarter and the Saints have 3 points on the board, well, that's a really disappointing result. But if you see some of the things, the elements that you saw in last week's offense, the accuracy, decisiveness, quick nature of the passing game plus getting the ball down the field, okay, well, that's certainly worth monitoring. You need Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed to play well. You need to try to find some work on the ground. You did a good job of that in the first game, especially with the next-gen stats of yards before contact. And if you can do that, you can calm down a little bit of that pass rush that Seattle brings all the time. But again, to kind of tie a bow on this whole thing, like I don't like the matchup from like every perspective that I look at it. The one like anecdote that I would look at that is a little bit encouraging was that last October, the Seahawks lost to the Giants, who were awful. It was a big letdown spot in Lumen Field, more than a touchdown. But if I'm trying to connect dots from last October to this one, that's a real reach. Like I'm well aware of that. So I think if I were to create a roadmap for the Saints to win, if we're going to play that game, it first of all starts with Rattler taking care of the ball. You cannot turn the ball over up there in Seattle. It's a loud crowd, it's a raucous crowd, and it's a defense that can sense momentum and sink their teeth into you. They've got a head coach that knows that. And so you can't do that. The run game helps you, and you've got to put up a fight on offense. I'm not even going to give you a roadmap that suggests the Saints score 34 points in this game. The roadmap to success probably includes the Saints scoring 24 points. And then what you do defensively is you crank up that pass rush. Carl Granderson's been good. It was a good, productive day in week 1 for Cam Jordan. We know Brian Brzee can get after it, and you can get after Sam Darnold. He's not going to run away from you, extend plays, and make you hurt outside the pocket off script. Darnold wants to sit back there and work. So the Saints do have some pass rushers, and they've been productive in this Brandon Staley defense.
Chase Young out again.
Out. Okay, so there's your injury report. Chase Young not going to play. Okay, I needed that. Tough to look as I'm talking, but I appreciate that. That's big helps. So I wish I had him, but I don't. So it is Jordan. It is Granderson. Get after Darnold and force some negative plays. If they're forced turnovers or strip sacks, awesome. If they're a sack on 2nd and 9 that gets you to 3rd and 14, that works too. And get them off the field and force a low-scoring game. You forced a fairly low-scoring game the first 2 games. Do that. Don't let Smith and Jigba torch you. And get it to the 4th quarter where one big play can change it. I'll give you my pick at the end of the show. I think you sense from the beginning of this segment where that's kind of headed. But I'm looking for progress from young players. That's the key here. And if you can see some more good from Jonas Sanker, great. You can see some more good from Kendre Miller, great. If your tackles hold up against a great pass rush, awesome. Like, there are some elements to this that work out, but I just feel like the likelihood is not very good for this New Orleans team. So I'm leaning Seattle pretty heavily. We'll give you that pick there at the end of the show. But it is an opportunity because this is not like the Cardinals, who are middle of the pack. This is not like the 49ers, who are not as intimidating. This is a good NFL team and a really good front and defense, and it'll be a tough matchup. But you can see real growth against a tough matchup if you hold your own. So we'll see what New Orleans can do up there in Seattle. Kick time here in the Central Time Zone in Louisiana, 3:05 on CBS. Saints and Seahawks from Lumen up there in the Pacific Northwest. All right, that's a look at the New Orleans Saints. Just a reminder, you can always find our Saints content at Hunt on Saints. That's on YouTube, where it's been for a long time. You can subscribe to that channel. We appreciate it. It's also in podcast form, so you can catch just my 10, 12-minute Saints segments at Hunt on Saints. Ross Jackson doing an awesome job for LouisianaSports.net covering the Saints. He's at Saints practice right now up there at Husky Stadium on Washington's campus. Made the trip up to the Pacific Northwest, so Ross has covered him. You can find his stuff for free at LouisianaSports.net. All right. Let's step aside. When we come back, some take it or leave it. Still got to make my pick for LSU Southeastern, break that game down a little bit, and talk a little bit more Saints-Seahawks. 30 minutes to go. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Closet space, sometimes not top of mind, especially for a lot of the fellas out there. It wasn't for me. Bought a home, loved the neighborhood, girlfriend at the time. Now my wife moved in. It's like, this is a disaster. Hated the closets. We had clothes in the hallway, had clothes in the kids' rooms, had clothes stuffed up in the attic, like didn't have enough space. And we could have called David Ball in One Bath and Closets, but we knew pretty quickly that we were going to be moving with a new kiddo on the way. So we didn't. But you don't have to move to get more closet space. Custom closets for your exact specifications. David Ball and his team can do it. They start you off with a questionnaire. How many pairs of shoes you got? What do you need to prioritize? Nope. Maybe build you a whole new closet. Maybe they'll just use your space more efficiently. But I can promise you this, that custom closet will be functional and it will be beautiful. Look at the work, their great work at onebathandclosets.com. You can see pictures of it. They're happy to do all of it. Get that free consultation online today at onebathandclosets.com. Onebathandclosets.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool.
You're listening to The Hun Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Did I say on the air yesterday, or was I just to Matt between shows that I thought the red should have been in Otter Lots?
I
definitely said it between shows. It was on the show?
No, it wasn't on the show yet because we were.
Did you see how many hits the Cubs got yesterday?
Yeah, they got one.
They got one.
Yeah, Hunter Green threw a shutout.
Yeah.
As we suspected.
Turns out, if you're hungover, it's hard to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
It is not easy. I think it's pretty hard to do it even when you're not hungover.
That's correct. But when you are hungover, which I think probably most of the team was, they got one hit. And now they almost won because it was a 1-0 game. The Reds only scored once. But that was a pretty easy one to call. The Cubs need to snap back into it this evening in Cincinnati and get a dub. But yeah, pretty easy one to call yesterday for Cubs and Reds in Otterlocks. All right, we got 25 minutes left to go. Still got to pick LSU and Southeastern as well as Saints and Seahawks. I don't think either one of those are going to be too groundbreaking of selections, but we'll get to those at the end of the show. Right now, it's time for a little Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer. It is currently 2:30 on a Friday. I can think of no better time to start thinking about that first cold beer of the weekend. And if you're looking for a light beverage, maybe one you haven't tried before, Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. Comes in these slim cans, just 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, smooth, refreshing, and packs all that flavor you're looking for a cold beer. Tailgating tomorrow, Flight by Yingling. Golf course this afternoon, Flight by Yingling. Fishing this weekend, Flight by Yingling. Watching NFL Sunday, Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
All right, first one here. Clayton Kershaw announced he will be retiring once the Dodgers season ends, wrapping up an 18-year career. Included, of course, an MVP, 3 Cy Youngs, 5 ERA titles, 11 All-Star appearances, among other things. Some idiot will not vote for him on the Hall of Fame ballot to prevent him from being a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I think he'll be unanimous.
Really?
Because Rivera knocked the door down, so now it can happen. And I don't think there's anybody's going to have beef about it. The holdup previously was that no one had ever been it, so you can't make him the first one.
Okay, but we've had so many guys since.
Like Maddox should have been it, obviously.
Ichiro should have been unanimous.
Yeah, but I think Kershaw will be. I don't know what the... No, actually, I take it back. Some wacko will go, well, I wasn't that good in the playoffs. So, no Hall of Fame. Not that good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I prefer Bumgardner.
Yes.
That'll be stupid. That'll be a stupid thing to
Somebody will do it, huh? I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
They weren't that good in the playoffs. Skip homers.
All right.
They'd get outdueled by Kyle Hendricks for the pennant, though. We like that.
Professor. All right, next one. Matt Rule and Nebraska make a statement with a win over Michigan. I saw this stat, though, before we get to it real quick. Nebraska is like 0-17 in their last top 25. They haven't beaten a ranked opponent since 2016.
Jeez.
However, they'll make a statement and get a win over Michigan Saturday. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Significant edge in coaching to Nebraska in this one, and I think Raiola is really good. Bryce Underwood's played well, but Nebraska, I believe that fan base still fancies itself as an elite football program.
I think they always will.
It's very, very much not. But they can get better than they are, and they can be as good as Iowa's been, which they haven't been, and they can be a lot better. And Matt Rule's a really good coach, and they're going to have a jam-packed house. There'll be emotions through the roof, and I think they will beat Michigan. And I think that is a step up for them. They're not in the stratosphere with Ohio State, and I wouldn't pick them to beat Penn State either. But this would be a step up if they can beat Michigan in a big game like this. So I'll take them to win it.
All right, next one. You forgot Tulane Ole Miss in your SEC picks.
That is correct. We just realized it.
The Wave covers in Oxford. Take it or leave it.
I believe the number is 7.5, and I will
11.5.
Oh,
at least I saw it on ESPN.
That's what I go off of, that ESPN deal.
I just went to ESPN.
11.5.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, I'll take the 11.5. I think Ole Miss's defense is a little stinky, and I think that Tulane will score some points. Ole Miss will score a lot of points, but I just need Tulane to score some points. And they will cover that number, I think, in Oxford. Ole Miss maybe looking ahead to the Tigers a little bit.
Maybe.
That's coming up next weekend in Oxford. Should be a wild environment for that one. So yeah, I'll take the Wave plus the 11.5. Add that to the card, the perfect card that's
8-1. At 8-1, you're going, not 7-1. Forget 7-1. 8-1.
9-0.
9-0. Okay, let's just make it 9-0. All right, next one, flavored margaritas. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'm in.
I'll take it.
I like a flavored margarita. I go back and forth between frozen and on the rocks. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling and really how full I am.
Right.
I think I probably prefer the consistency of frozen, quite frankly. But if I've just housed a bunch of chips and salsa or something, I might need to go on the rocks because it's just a little bit lighter.
Well, the problem
I like the flavor. Give me
problem-
peach, give me watermelon, give me mango, give me the whole thing.
I like the flavors every now and then. The problem with frozen is if you don't drink it fast enough, it's going to melt.
It is.
At that point, it's basically just on the rocks, but with no ice.
No
so
ice, yes. But it's
that
still
is a
cold.
problem.
But you just
gotta
got to get it housed quickly.
You just
Gotta
got to
go to work
down
on
it. You got to go to work on it. You got to get yourself a straw and just do some work.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. All right, next one, Harlem Berry. Over total yards on Saturday night. I'm not sure what it would be, but probably like 50 or 60, I guess.
55 is the number I had in mind, and I would go over it. I just forgot to type the numbers 5 and 5 in that.
Take it.
I will take that. Yes, I think they're going to get him the ball a little bit. I think he will have 11 touches, and I think one of those will go for like 30 yards. So I talked about this at the top of the show. Most people that are listening right now probably didn't listen at that point. But I do think Harlem Berry will be involved in the game plan. They'll get him some touches, whether that's early or late in the game, either way. And I just want him to get his feet wet, and I think that he'll make a couple big plays. And yeah, I think he'll go over 55.
Let's get some 15-yard runs. We've got either 2 or 50 so far.
There's
in
a lot
these
of
games.
that.
There's been no first down runs. Let's get a few of those for Harlem Berry.
Okay.
All right, next one, LSU touchdown pass over 45 yards on Saturday night. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'm going to go with that as a total distance on the play.
Yeah, I'm going to say
in
not
the
air
air
yards.
I don't think he's going to throw it 45 yards in the air. If he does, that'll be great.
That'd be awesome.
And here's the deal. I just thought about this. I've been thinking about this game all week, and I haven't. This just came in my brain. If he's capable of throwing the ball 45 yards, I don't know if he is or not. If he's capable, in the first quarter, they're just going to do it so that Ole Miss sees it on film. Because I think if you've now let the cat out of the bag that he has an injury, you've got to prove he's not hurt still. Or else Ole Miss is going to use that and go, all right, we're coming up. So I think if he's capable, even if he throws it out of bounds and it's not completed, just do it so that Ole Miss is aware that, hey, he actually can throw it deep, and we have to now respect Barryon Brown and Chris Hilton on the outside because he can hurt us over the top. If you come out and say your quarterback who's not played well and has not thrown the ball more than 32 yards all year, and you say he has an oblique injury, and then you come out and he can't throw it 35 yards, and you dink and dunk it around on Southeastern, like that's going to impact the way Ole Miss prepares for the game. So I think now that they've said something, clearly he's got to be better than he was.
Well,
that all just started clicking in my brain.
I agree with you, but could LSU be a little bit cheeky and not do it to make Ole Miss think he can't throw it deep, and then they game plan for that, and then actually can? You never know. I always wonder.
Gamesmanship.
Yeah, I always wonder about how teams go about, especially when it's the first game. I mean, this isn't the first game, so at this point, LSU's got a lot on film on the offensive side. But I do wonder sometimes if teams will be coy with their play calling in games like this.
Yes, they are.
They should. Like when Kelly was so quick to shut down Nussmeier's knee injury, I was like, I would have rolled with it.
Yeah,
if I was Kelly, I'd have been like, yeah, it's significant. And then he goes out there fine against Clemson. I don't know why he didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, you if your opponent is going to take your word, then yeah, why not? Why not try to confuse them? But last one, real quick, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorites. Take it or leave it.
I will leave that.
Leave it alone.
To me, I would suggest I like the Eagles' chances to get to the Super Bowl better than the Bills.
Of course.
And I think I like the Ravens better than the Bills, period. I know the Bills beat them in week 1. It was in Buffalo. I think the Ravens are awesome. So I love the Bills. I think there's a really good chance they can win the Super Bowl this year. I would not suggest they're the favorites.
Yeah, I think the AFC is just always going to be harder.
They got to break with Burrow.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. All right, that's it.
All right, let's take it or leave it. Brought to you by Flight, by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Reminder of our schedule for tomorrow for LSU and Southeastern. For those that are listening, want to tune in tomorrow to get you ready for and reacting to the Tigers and the Lions in Tiger Stadium. 6:45 is your kickoff time, a couple minutes after that. But for our purposes, 6:40 and moving forward this year, we will be in our studio inside the stadium. But we will come to you at 4:45. I'll have Jay Johnson on the show. Talking a little bit of baseball, excited about that. But we'll go from 4:45 to a little bit after 6:15, and then we'll hand it off to the broadcast team of Gordy Rush, Jacob Hester, and the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair. They'll have the call for you 30 minutes after it goes final. Me, Brandon, and Marlon on the LSU Sports Radio Network for postgame. 90 minutes after the game goes final, Charles Handegriff and Richard Dixon will have Eagle 98.1 postgame from right here in studio, taking your phone calls and reacting to LSU and Southeastern. So we start at 1:45. We'll go till about 2 o'clock in the morning. About 12 hours of coverage over on Eagle 98.1. It's simulcast, a lot of it here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us on Saturdays on game days. We got one more order of business. That's picking Saints and Seahawks as well as LSU and Southeastern. I'll break down a little bit more of what I want to see from LSU and Southeastern in the next segment as well. We'll close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is that website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. So start your shopping process there. We live in a delivery society. You want food, you get it delivered. You need toilet paper and laundry detergent, you get it delivered. You need a car, you can get it delivered. They will do that for you at Genesis of Baton Rouge. They will come to you for the test drive. You reach out to one of their brand ambassadors, they'll come to you. If you don't have time, you want to do it during your lunch break, you want to do it while you're at home, they will come to you. Get that test drive. You decide, yeah, this is the ticket for me. Awesome decision. You'll love it. And they'll bring the car to you for delivery. E-contracts, delivery. It's right there at your front door. They make it so easy for you. Convenience is very, very important to the folks over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. The customer service there is going to be second to none. You will feel like a guest and not a customer. Experience it for yourself. Go by and see them at Airline at Pico, or as I said, get it all done right at the comfort of your own home. It's an option for you at Genesis of Baton Rouge. The entire inventory is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Join us for Friday's AFR live from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Sagamore Spirit Rye. We'll have craft cocktails, someone's winning tickets to the game, and of course a fine premium cigar. Friday's AFR, presented by Sagamore Spirit.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Live and local, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, every football Friday, 7 a.m. until about 9 p.m. Off the bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer Show, AFR, Louisiana Prep Preview, Catholic High Football. 7 a.m. start all the way through Catholic's finale. There about 9 o'clock. Should be a great one for Catholic and U-High tonight here in the capital city, as one would say. I don't have a dog in that fight, but it should be a great game. There's a lot of really good players on those two teams, so we shall see. I'm probably going to take Myers to a high school football game this fall. I have not considered that, but my aunt brought it up. She texted me. She's like, you should take him to the Catholic U-High. Can't do that tonight. We've got some things on the books, but he would like that because he's really into football these days, and he loves going to the LSU game. I think getting real close to a high school game might be fun for him. So we'll look at that as time moves on. I always like checking out high school events. They're always fun.
Yeah, they're really good, especially right now in the non-district games. There are a lot of good out of district games where especially teams like Catholic go out and play some really good teams. And so this is when you it's not like college football where you get these really bad matchups between FCS teams, and really they actually go out and play guys.
Going from Rummel to Catholic. That's real stuff.
One of the good things about the way that they do the power ratings in LHSAA is they really value you playing good teams. So they go out and play good teams. So it's always really good fun.
That's why the Flyers, my senior year, got a lot of credit for going 2-8, baby.
Hey, the Flyers, I think they're looking pretty good so far this year. I think they're 2-0.
The Flyers went 2-8, made the playoffs as a 32 seed. Played John Curtis in the first round with one Joe McKnight on the squad.
Yeah.
The Flyers did not win that game. And I believe this is secondhand information from my friends who were on the team. Our head coach went into the locker room on Monday before that game and said, guys, if we win this game on Friday, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of sports. Not football, high school football, Louisiana. It'll be the biggest upset in the history of sports if we win this game. They did not win. Joe had, I believe, 3 carries for 3 touchdowns, and he did not play the rest of the game.
Kind of blame the coach on that. That's putting way too much pressure on him.
That's not a good idea from the coach.
The Flyers were a poor team, guys. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. My buddy played both ways on the line. At that point, probably 5'10", 210. He was playing both ways on the line.
Yeah.
The Flyers were not a great squad back in the 04, 05, 06 days. That's all right. On the hardwood, we won a playoff game. Don't worry about it.
Won a playoff game. Who'd y'all beat in that playoff game?
Welch.
The
Greyhounds.
Oh, man. Yeah, the real powerhouse.
Came up to Shreveport, and we just took them out.
Welch.
Dominant performance.
Known for their really strong basketball teams.
Not in our house, baby. It's an excellent performance. We came out in that 2-3 zone, smothering,
yeah.
knocking down shots. It's a packed house in there.
Oh,
and we went to Lakeview and got crushed because that's how that generally
And don't forget, we got Ken Trahan's show as well.
Yes,
on
we
Talk
do.
107.3.
Talk 107.3, 5 to 9 tonight.
That's right.
4 hours of high school football coverage there on Talk 107.3. All right, last order of business was picking the games, so let's get into that. I'll start with LSU and Southeastern. We'll finish with Saints-Seahawks here. As I've said 50 times this week, like the score's insignificant. Really, the X's and O's are insignificant. This is not a fair fight. It's not a game that should be on the schedule. If you don't take my word for it, listen to Coach Selfo on Matt's show yesterday who said he doesn't like these games. But they get $750,000 for it, and it helps their budget, so they take it, and then they get beat by $1 million. LSU, they played 2 FBS teams the last 2 years. They've lost a total of 100-7. And Southeastern's a decent FCS program, but it's just not it's not the same sport. So I'm not going to watch LSU run up a bunch of yards on the ground and go, look, they're blocking it up. That's great running. You're not going to see that from me. I would like to see Garrett Nussmeier throw a ball 35 yards in the air, 40 yards in the air. I would like to see LSU get Chris Helton involved a little bit. I would like to see Harlan Berry involved. I would like to see Carius Kern play some. And I realize this is like, people feel like, oh, you're jinxing things. Don't say stuff like that. And I get it. Like, get the defensive starters out in the second half. I really don't need a targeting foul. Targeting is a fluke most of the time, like it was last week. So let's not miss the first half against Ole Miss because we're trying to tackle Southeastern. So the way I can get all these things accomplished is just go out there, play good defense, shut them out in the first half, score 4 touchdowns, 28-0, and get the backups in. Like it's a race to that to me. And so I'm not looking much forward to analyzing the game on Saturday. There are just some things I would like to see for confidence purposes. And I do think confidence is important to some of these guys. So We'll see. I'm looking forward to getting in the stadium. I'm looking forward to seeing the band. I'm looking forward to see LSU, although I'm not looking forward to seeing the uniforms. But it's a stress-free Saturday, so enjoy your tailgate. Watch some football with no stress, and probably watch some other game on the other screen. That's quite frankly on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. SEC play cranks up in earnest next week in Oxford. So let's talk Saints and Seahawks. I mentioned this 30 minutes ago, so probably some of y'all that are still tuned in that heard this breakdown. But this matchup stinks for New Orleans on paper. You're talking about a team that really rushes the passer well with 4 against an offensive line that has some issues. Let's just be frank about it. Got a quarterback that has a history of making some rough decisions if he's pressured, especially if it doesn't require numbers. That could be a bit of an issue. I don't like the fact that it's on the road in front of a hostile crowd as well. The Saints' only chance here is to really generate some pass rush against a stationary Sam Darnold and create negative plays. If they can't do that, I think Jackson Smith-Njigba has a big game, and I think that the Seahawks win this game by a couple of scores. So for me, I've got the final here at 30-13. Seahawks kind of taking it to the Saints on Sunday. Matchup's just not any good. If the Saints can get some pressure and maybe get a turnover or two, they can stay within shouting distance, but I just don't anticipate that happen. I would take the Seahawks, and I would lay the points in this game on Sunday. As far as LSU's final, I haven't even given that some thought. I'm going to put it on LouisianaSports.net tomorrow morning, but probably something in the neighborhood of 48-3. I don't anticipate the game being all that competitive at all. But it does lead into a really exciting week with LSU and Ole Miss. And I will say this as I get out of here. While tomorrow's not a game that I'm going to take a lot from for LSU, I'm not going to take for granted the fact that we're going to go to the last week in September this year and LSU is going to be undefeated. And that is something that they haven't done in 6 years. So it's a good thing. I can still celebrate the Clemson and Florida wins with a Southeastern game day, because you don't feel like you're teetering on the edge as a team. You feel like you've got a lot of wiggle room and just some time to get better. And you've had a week to practice to get better. You'll have a game to go out there and get some things worked out. And then you got another week of practice to get better. And then you got to go to Oxford and play a really good football game to win that. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a celebration of LSU moving to 4-0, which you haven't seen in a while, which is probably more important to me than, hey, how's that left guard looking on that pull? Can they handle this counter play? That's really not what tomorrow's for. It's been a fun show. Fast-moving 2 hours. If you missed any of it, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show. Like, subscribe, rate, and review. That helps us get our content in front of as many folks as possible. And then you can look for our individual content. Hunt on LSU for your LSU stuff. Hunt on Saints for your Saints stuff. Full breakdown of the game with Southeastern. Preston Guy came aboard to talk with us. I broke down Saints and Seahawks as well. SEC picks, setting the stage for the NFL. All the hits on this Friday show, and we're brought to you, as always, by Corks. Get on by. Grab a po' boy. Get some fried shrimp, fried catfish before you go out and watch some high school football or LSU tomorrow, or the Saints on Sunday. That's all we can do this week. We're going to hand things off to Matt Moscona, who is live at Don Juan. He'll be there for AFR 3 to 6. Back Monday, recapping a whole weekend on
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana.